I've made a few players to assess the importance of pressure. That hidden attribute that largely goes unnoticed. Or does it? It does for me. Does it for you? Who knows? Well, we'll see in this video, shall we? What's going on? What a weird intro that was. 4 players, 4 centre forwards, 4 different nationalities. Yes, we've got Pete Pressure, Paolo Pressurino, Pedro Pressure, and Philippe Pressure. I sort of lost my way with the other languages, with Spanish and French. Went for it with Italian. Leave your comments down below of what you would have put in there for Spanish and French, eh? Pete is jovial, yet the personality is balanced. Jovial, 10s for everything, hidden attributes, 20 for pressure. So yeah, there he is. Jovial is old Pete. Current ability 90, potential ability 185. Paolo Pressurino. Current ability 90, potential ability 185, 10s for everything, hidden attribute wise, 1 for pressure. Pedro Pressure, the Spanish. Frozen attributes at 165, even though it says his potential ability is 200, locked at 165, and that is Pedro. And Pedro, I believe, is the one with 20 pressure. And Philippe, just to round it off, again, so Philippe and Pedro are identical. Pete and Paolo are identical in terms of initial attribute breakdown. Pedro and Philippe will never change. They will be the same all the way through. The reason I've done 2 different variations is because I wanted to have 2 players that were going to be very good / borderline world class. One with great pressure, one with awful pressure. And then Pete and Paolo, I wanted to see how player development would go with the pressure attribute different. What's also interesting is how much pressure will change over the course of their careers. But I didn't just want to have 20s across the board within attributes like we have done in the past. We've gone with 10s, as per some of the recommendations in the comments. So thank you very much for everyone who has recommended that in the past. So without further ado, we're back doing one of these. It's been a while. We're going to go through 1 year, see where people end up. So, well. Paolo has gone to Nice. That's a nice move for him, eh? Oh, nice move. Did you get it? Of course you get it. You're not stupid. Unless you are stupid, then I apologise for calling you not stupid. Paolo at Nice, he's grown to 6'2", and he's gone to 96 out of 185. Played in the Nice 2 team, 10 goals in 38 appearances, 7 assists, 1 player of the match, getting a 6.65 overall. Pressure still at 1, everything else still at 10s. Petey McPressure Pops at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest love a bloody player in one of my experiments, don't they? So do Nice, to be fair. Anyway, Pete, 104 he's grown to. Ambition at 12. He's become more ambitious. Pedro has gone to Real Madrid and he wants to leave to get into the national team setup. A forward at 165 hasn't managed to get into the Real Madrid team at all. 4 games, 3 of them off the bench, playing for Real Madrid B. I can understand why he wants to leave. I mean, yes, Real Madrid have Karim Benzema, but who else they got up front? Oscar Aranda? What's he there for? Sorry, Oscar. Get out. Rodrigo can play up front. And that's it. You've got two players that really could arguably up front instead of Pedro. Well, he wants to leave to get into the national team setup. And understandably so. Philippe is wanted by PSG and Bayern Munich. And he's signed for Genoa. Has he done well? He's done all right. 15 and 37. Do you know what I mean? Serie B for Genoa. And they won the league title. Bloody hell. He's only gone and spearheaded them to the league title. The season preview, they were 1-10 on. Is that Philippe Pressure? I'm not sure where they're meant to be to begin with, but he's not in the top scorers charts. Disappointing. No assists, the greedy sod, and a 6.92 in a promotion-winning team. And a promotion-winning team by 14 points. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say that was poor. Disappointing from Pete. 1 pressure. So people aren't in the first team yet. Of course, Pete and Paolo are not going to be there. Philippe played well for Genoa-ish. Pedro not playing for Real Madrid, wants to leave. Will he leave or will he get his chance in the Real Madrid team? If he hangs fire and plays there for a couple of seasons, he'll probably take over from Karim Benzema and just rock around. But he's actually been retrained as an attacking midfielder as well. Didn't notice that first off. Been retrained because he's got good passing really and technique as well. Great finishing though. I don't know why. You number 10 or striker? Where would you play him? Good composure, great off the ball, good acceleration and pace. For me, I'm playing him up front. Advance forward for me. Anyway, we go through one more year just to see if Pedro moves. We do. One more year. But they've all stayed where they were. They've all remained at their specific clubs. Philippe, 5 goals in 37. An awful, awful season. They did avoid relegation. Where are they playing him? As a lone striker. But he's been retrained as an attacking midfield centre. 41 games he played as a striker and scored 6 goals. I don't know what to make of this because he's got... Oh, so he's the balanced one. If I looked at those two, I'd see balanced and then I'd see jovial. I'd be like, give me the balanced one. Even though we've seen in other experiments, ones across the board is balanced. Pedro, jovial, at Real Madrid still. Has he played at Real Madrid? Oh, 27 in 41 for Real Madrid B. He's put that behind him, though. He's not bothered about getting into the Real Madrid team, apparently, in order to get into the national setup. Pete at Nottingham Forest. Everybody wants him on loan. Never played a minute of football. He's up at 119, and Paulo is up at 108. Still in the Nice 2 squad. Still got 1 for pressure. Right, we're going to jump a proper amount this time. 3 years. 2027. Here we come, ladies and gentlemen. It's all kicked off. It's all kicked off. Only Pete's still at bloody Forest. We'll start with Pete. 145 out of 185. Turning into quite the player, if I dare say so myself. Don't know what that means, if I say so myself. It's not me, is it? Quite the player is Pete. Went to Barnsley. 25 goals for Barnsley in the league in Sky Bet League 1 in 24-25 when they won Sky Bet League 1. Fair play. Come back to Forest and they got 10 in 32 in the Championship. 13 of those were off the bench and they went up. So he then... in the Premier Division, 13 in 37, and they went down. On goal difference. Oh, that's tough to take, isn't it? Considering we're representing a forward, Southampton, in the Europa League. What is this? More successful than I am with them. Go and check out the Southampton series. So he's going to be back in the Championship, where hopefully he'll either move on or he will kick on. So, Paulo moved from Nice, and he's not moved, he's at Werder on loan. He went to Hanover on loan, 13 in 30, in the Bundesliga 2, and now he's actually played 8 times for Nice, all off the bench, 6.54, not doing great, but what do you expect? Give him a few starts. His pressure is still at 1. He's moved some other hidden attributes up to 11, and his controversy's down at 8. He's chilling out. 20 years old. Only at 129 though, so he's quite the way off the pace with Pete. Can't handle the pressure. Pedro then did move from Real Madrid for £46 million. He'd never played for Real Madrid after those 4 games in the first season. He got 25 in 31 for Real Madrid B. They just decided they didn't like him. They said, no, thank you. Went to AC Milan, 10 in 32, 18 in 38. And they've just missed out on the league title to Inter. But the season before, they won it. 10 in 38 was not enough to change the world, really. But he has scored a fair few. And there he is, 3rd in the top goal scorers charts. But he has got the 20 pressure. He has got the 20. Philippe has gone to Arsenal for 18 million from Genoa. That is a bargain. 18 million pounds. Again, he's not setting the world on fire, is he? He's really not. Right. Doesn't seem to have any cons. Doesn't seem to have any cons whatsoever. I've just added myself as the manager of Arsenal. Great attributes. And great, Look, his ambition's down at 5. His loyalty's now down at 5. We put pressure up at 20. What happens? Absolutely nothing happens in terms of these pros and cons. Obviously, if we put important matches down at 1, nothing happens. Right, there you go. Very consistent performer. So consistency gets a mention. But when we change it to good, going in there, important matches, jovial character in a pro. The pros column. Fair enough. All right then. Well, anyway, another 3 years then. So Philippe's still at Arsenal. Pedro's still at Milan. Pete has moved to West Ham, and Paulo is still at Nice. Not really making many appearances at all. Mainly for Nice 2 he's playing. Popped in a few times for Nice, but he's not done much. He's still at 129 at 23 years old. Peter's made his way up to 157. He moved for 40.5 million to West Ham from Nottingham Forest. And do you know what? He's actually done all right. 16 in 38. West Ham in the last 3 seasons have, just avoided relegation there, 17th. And then he's come 13th and 12th. So getting him up to mid-table. 2 caps, 1 goal for England. 17 goals in 15 under 21 caps. That's all right, isn't it? There's his polygon. Looking pretty good. £40 million is probably a bit excessive for him, if you ask me. But he has got 185 potential. So if you bought him and he did go on and reach that potential, I don't know. I suppose composure at 15, off the ball at 15, pace and acceleration at 15. If they all just tweaked over 1, There's so many more greens there, and all of a sudden he looks world class. So it's all to do with the colouring, isn't it? If moving that up to those up to 16 would just make him look like such a better player. Like, so much more than what the actual jump would be. Just the perception of him. Pedro then at Milan. How's he been getting on? Wow, 3 in 27. 15 of those were off the bench. But then he got 11 in 25 with 15 of those off the bench. And Milan have won the league. He's won the league with Milan a couple of times. Philippe has not won the league with Arsenal. Oh my God. I mean, he's playing a lot from the bench. But he's not scoring goals, is he? Oh, this season's ticked over. But he's got 77 caps and 32 goals for France. Pedro for Spain has got 29 in 43. In terms of Champions League, since the game started, we've got Real Madrid with a few. Arsenal getting to the final here against Chelsea, missing out. And got Man City winning 3 in a row. Okay, well, it's looking like pressure is really, really important. But it's very, very hard to discern what it actually shows up as one of the icons of a hidden attribute. Absolutely no idea. But Paulo got nowhere. 129. Is it 23? Like, we're going to go to 26, 3 more years. He's probably going to be like max 135. He's never getting anywhere near good. He's barely even championship quality at this stage. Pete at West Ham, doing very good. Pedro at Milan, fantastic. Winning leagues, not scoring enough goals if you ask me, but it is what it is. Philippe at Arsenal, don't even know where to start. Abysmal. Right, 3 more years then. So Philippe's still at Arsenal. 51 in 114 for France, as we can see there. Pedro still at Milan. He is wanted by Inter. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I'd enjoy that. I bloody would. Pete made that move to Newcastle, and Paulo, I said he probably wouldn't even get it past 135. He's at 148, ladies and gentlemen. He's actually kicked on, and he's wanted by Lazio and Villarreal. Let's go to Paulo first, because he's not had much love this experiment. He's been every bugger else. So he went on loan to Reims. That was the last season we were here. 12 in 28 for Reims. And he's actually come back and he's got into the Nice team. And he's playing from the bench more often than not in the last 2 seasons. But he's actually got not a terrible goal return for the amount of times he's come off the bench. Not too bad. And as you can see, he's moved himself up to 148. Now, Pete, or Newcastle, well, £85 million West Ham made. And this is what I'm talking about, gang. So, at West Ham, he moved for £40.5 million. He got 12, 15, 16, 15. Not bad for what is essentially a mid-table West Ham team. He just avoided relegation and they were, 12th, 13th? I'm guessing in this season, they probably were somewhere similar. We have a quick look. 11th. Yeah, 13th, 12th, 11th. So he helped them. And then £85 million later, Newcastle said, yes, please. 17 and 36. Not setting the world on fire in that season, but here we go. 27 in 38. Has he won the Golden Boot? He has. He's only gone and beat Erling Haaland, and he won the Premier League with Newcastle the first season he was there by 6 points. He won the Premier League. Fair play to him. 17 in 36 is not terrible. Just under 1 in 2, but he's done so much better in this one. 38 games played, started every single game. Don't know if he played every single minute, but 27 goals, 7 assists, 5 player of the matches. As we said, Pedro is wanted by Inter, and in terms of the Serie A, well, Inter have won it twice and Juve once in the last 3 years. Milan haven't won it in a few years. Pedro's not scored many goals. 11 in 22 there, 6 of those off the bench, but look, 5 in 17. Not doing great at all. And he's playing as the striker. You can't say it's because he's playing as attacking midfielder, because he barely is. And Philippe, well, he's actually scored more for Arsenal this season than any other season apart from his very first season in Serie B with Genoa. No assists, no player of the matches. 14 goals in 37 appearances. It's not good enough, is it? But Arsenal are in the mix, getting European football. 7th there, 6th, 3rd, 5th. So they're not a million miles away. But they are not quite there. And it seems like Philippe is just not going to put it for them. 51 in 114, as I say, for him. Pete's got 15 in 19 now for England. And he's 26 years old. And he's really kicked on. How is his hiddens looking? His hiddens have improved greatly. Professionalism's up. Consistency's up at 16. Ambition's gone to 12. Versatility at 16 as well. Speaking of hiddens, let's have a look at Paulo's. Pressure's up at 3. And there's other hidden attributes are going up as well. 16 as well for consistency. So yeah, he's kicked on as Paulo. Will he get there? Pete's about to get to 185, which is his potential. So we're going to go through 4 years to 30. Oh, so Pete's at 181. Did he ever get there? Maybe, maybe not. Paulo still at Nice 151 out of 185. 2 caps for Italy. He's maintaining his place in the Nice team, getting over 7s every season. So he's done pretty well for himself. His pressure is still only at 3, so that's not improved too much. And as you can see, he's not got anywhere near the dizzy heights. For some reason, he's a makeshift centre-back with 5 tackling and 6 marking. Pete, though, at Newcastle, well, let's have a look at Pete, shall we? He is phenomenal. He's equalled his best season of 27. He's got it again here, 25, 20 and 24 in recent seasons. The Premier League has not been won by Newcastle since they're coming second. He's getting the golden boot, beating Brandon Kirby. And Brandon Kirby got it last year where Pete came second, but every other year Pete's got the golden boot. And let's move on to Pedro then, who's moved to Barcelona from Milan for £72 million. And I've got to say, he's not done great since he moved. He's the one that's got 20 pressure. £72 million he moved to Barcelona. Not done superb, but they've won the league twice. The fair play to him. Philippe was moved to PSG for £83 million from Arsenal. 75 million, sorry, it says there. 83 including add-ons. He's got 8 in 20. 7 of those were starts, 13 off the bench. PSG almost certainly will have won the league. They did. Of course they did. He won't have got a top goal scorer though with 8, will he? So there we go. I'm telling you now, pressure is an absolutely monumental attribute that's required. We've got one more stop. It's the end of the careers. We're going to go to 2043. 2044, they were all gone. Let's go to 43. Right, Philippe's retiring. Pedro does retire. So we're going to go back another season just to see. Oh, who's gone? The Italian. Nice. Matey boy. Paolo. Well, get out. Pete's gone down to 160. Still at Newcastle. Still playing a lot. And they have won another league. Brighton have just won the league by 11 points. Only getting 83 as well. Insane. Kirby. Brandon Kirby. We saw him before. He's back. 182. God, he was at Liverpool and Liverpool let him go. £43.5 million. Loan with option to buy it must have been. And what an option that was for Brighton. Leeds in 3rd. Fulham in 5th. Nottingham Forest in 7th. It's all bloody going on here. Newcastle have won a league. So he has won a league. Have they won a Champions League? They bloody have. Most recently, current Champions League holders, beating Liverpool in the final. Oh, I hoped he'd scored. Didn't even play. Didn't even get on the bench. Disappointing. Doesn't look like anyone's won a Champions League. Brighton coming runner-up in the Champions League in 36-37. Brighton have been there or thereabouts for a few years then. Philippe moved from PSG to Milan for £7.5 million. What an absolute waste of money he was for PSG. He didn't do anything, did he? 23 starts, 3 starts, 2 starts, 9 starts. Loads of appearances off the bench. And PSG have been overtaken by Monaco in the last three years. Monaco have been winning the league. Bloody hell. And he went to Milan and got 18 in 37 and won the league with them, coming second in the top goal scorers charts. Well, do you know what? He's not done very well through his career. What a happy ending that is. That's lovely. How heartwarming. Pedro's still at Barcelona. Been at Barcelona almost as long as Milan. And they have not really been setting the world on fire. It's been all about Real Madrid. Barcelona won it 5 years ago. Having a quick look at Footballer of the Year. Don't think any of them are going to get it, but Pete Pressure did in 2039. Pete Pressure for Newcastle at 33 years old. Footballer of the Year. Fair play. Golden Ball. Oh, he's got a couple here, Pete Pressure has. Kylian Mbappe just went on a tear. Erling Haaland won 1. But it was mainly the Kylian Mbappe show. He's now an unemployed manager. Player of the Year then. And again, Pete Pressure won 1. That's it. That's the end of today's experiment. And pressure is very important. What have you got to do to look out for it? Do you know what? I'm none the wiser. Genuinely none the wiser. A jovial personality isn't bad, apparently. So yeah, there you go. What have we gleaned from this? Sod all. Let's have a quick look at the internationals, shall we? No Ralph for England. The World Cup is currently with Mexico. Italy won a World Cup. Portugal and Germany and Brazil. The Euros. Runner-up again for England there. 3 wins for Spain. 3 wins for Spain. Pedro got 69 caps, 42 goals. Probably won quite a few tournaments with Spain. Fair play. Well, there we go then. That's the end of the experiment. Hope you enjoyed yourself, gang. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I can decipher what pressure looks like as an icon and all that jazz. While you're here, stay on the channel. Watch this video. Best for viewer. This video is best for you. Take care, gang. See you soon.